Hey, it's James Zed, and I am feeling humbled. I've had a couple humbling experiences lately this past week, including one right now, and I'm going to talk to you guys about them today. So the one I had just now, I just recorded this video. I want to do these in one take, and I forgot to turn the fucking camera on. I mean, it was on, but I didn't press record, or it shut off, or something. I don't know. All I know is that I don't have video for that. And I thought about just posting the audio file, but I don't want to do that. That doesn't feel like, I know I want to like, something that I've really appreciated is I've had a lot of feedback about these videos feeling raw and accessible. And I think that that's going to be lacking if it's just an audio file. Also, I feel like this is a good, I wanted to talk about humility and feeling humbled. This is like the meta humbling experience. Even in the course of shooting this video, something that I think I'm pretty good at, I fucked it up, and here I am. So, anywho, that's humbling experience number one. Don't forget to turn your camera on. Whoops. Humbling experience number two is that I've been really recently struggling with an Achilles injury. So I was running last week on Thursday or Wednesday, and my Achilles started to bug me a little bit, or it bugged me a little after the run more than during. And then I was kind of keeping an eye on it, and the following day, it felt like a little tender during the run, but then really tender afterwards. I was, I think, on Thursday, and like I ended up taking some painkillers. I was, resting it and icing it, rice, all that stuff. And it was bad. It really hurt. It was hard to walk, just very suddenly. And, I did a little bit of research because I haven't had like a tendon injury. I don't think that this was like acute. I didn't tear it or something like that, I think this was just an overuse injury. And the more I looked up about it, the more I got the impression that like tendon injuries take forever to heal. So that makes me nervous, especially because I've committed to going for a run 5 days a week, right? Monday through Friday. That's going to be hard to do. So I decided I'd take Friday off, just rest completely. Took Friday, Saturday, Sunday for rest. And I did a little test run on Monday, see how it felt. I promised myself I'd keep it under 2K. I ran, I always go out and back. So I'm, halfway, I'm at 500 meters. It'd be a 1K run if I turned around. And it feels fine, like absolutely, totally normal. I decided to run a little further, and I run another 250 meters to this landmark, and I decided to turn around there. And I don't know if it's because of some like side to side lateral kind of pressure as I did this like fairly tight turn, but suddenly, boom, I notice it. My Achilles is bugging me. And this is like, I wouldn't even call this pain. It's not even a 1 out of 10. This is like maybe discomfort, but something, had I just been going for a run and not like being hyper vigilant about it, I don't think I would have noticed at all, right? But I had promised myself if it bugged me at all, I was going to walk home. So I did. I walked about 300 meters and decided it was feeling totally fine. And I decided to try running again. I ran maybe 20, 30 meters, and I could just feel the slightest little twinge in it. And I walked the rest of the way. Now, the good news is it didn't get anything like the previous day. It wasn't super sore again or anything like that. It really didn't, today is the day after that, and it feels fine. Does it feel 100%? No. If I like flex my leg or something like that, I can do calf raises. I can like feel it, but only just barely. So anyways, that was kind of humbling experience number two, is that now I suddenly have this Achilles injury, and sports injuries are an enormous pain because like, I think the right thing to do is take off more time than you think you need. But that always feels bad. I don't want to interrupt my 5-day-a-week running schedule. I don't want to take a couple of weeks off. Like I was looking up tendon injuries, and like there was a lot of 6 to 12 week type advice, even for just inflammation, not tears or anything, nothing more severe than what I think I had. I don't want to take 6 weeks off. Are you kidding me? But then it's this like fickle thing where it's you don't take enough time to rest and recover, and then maybe it's fine, maybe it's not, but it's fine for a bit and then it comes back. And then before you know it, a year has gone by and you've struggled with this injury for the whole duration of that, instead of just like having one lump period where you were, unable to do your sport or whatever it is. So anyhow, that sucks. That really fucking sucks. And I'm not like super upset about it. More on that later. But like, I don't know if it's a combination of like, I think this is an overuse injury. I'm not sure if this is because I'm older now. I weigh a lot more than I did. Like, I really wasn't pushing myself on my runs, and I'm very surprised that this got so inflamed, and so it was angry, right? Like, my wife could tell which side was the upset one, the cranky one, because it was like visibly swollen, right? So that did really catch me off guard. Once again, a bit of a humbling experience. It's probably a reflection of all those factors. I weigh a lot more than I did when I was running consistently before. I'm also almost 10 years older. I took like a solid 5-7 year break from running. So, I think part of this is my current fitness level, and part of this is what life is like now as I age. So that felt very humbling. But what I decided is I'm not going to just sure, I'm going to not run for some period of time. I don't know what that looks like. I want to be fair to myself, but I really don't want to lose that Monday to Friday run. It felt really good to show up consistently like that. So for now, I'm planning that I'm going to take this week off. Maybe it's 2 weeks. I don't know. But at least this week. But in lieu of running, I'm going to do yoga, right? I had researched about tendon injuries, and it broadly suggested that light activity is substantially better than no activity. And of course, a little bit of gentle stretching and that sort of thing is good too. So I'm going to do some yoga, and I'm not going to do yoga specifically for my legs or Achilles or ankle flexibility or anything like that. I'm just going to do some gentle beginner yoga. And that was humbling experience number 3. I used to do yoga a fair bit. When I worked in an office, a group of us would go do yoga a couple times a week. And we'd go in little spurts. We'd usually keep that up for 3-4 months and then take a month or two off and then, get back to it, that sort of thing. But I would never say I considered myself anything more than a beginner. Yoga wasn't something I was super passionate about. It's something I did as a supportive activity for obstacle course racing. It's good to, work on flexibility, cross training, whatever. And anyways, I guess I know what it was like to be a kind of beginner yogi, new to the yoga experience. And my experience today was extremely humbling. I did a 60-minute class, just like a YouTube video that I found. I followed along, and it was hard. This was beginner yoga, and it was a lot. There's a lot of I've really been focused on or mindful lately of hip flexibility. I sit for work. I'm getting older. I want to not be immobile and have this crazy tech neck, all that shit. So I've been really kind of aware of that, and I am trying to learn to do the splits. But there's a lot more there, I guess. And overall, when you're 40 and fat, it's a lot harder to follow along even at that beginner level. And this isn't me overshooting, going crazy, trying to really, get super deep into every posture or whatever. I did spend a lot of time doing yoga, and I remember my favorite yoga teacher talking about exploring, that edge where, it feels right. It doesn't hurt, but it's some form of sort of gentle discomfort, or not even discomfort, but acknowledgement, awareness that, hey, I'm gaining some value out of this. And I really did a lot of yin yoga at the time. So often it was holding postures for like a extended period of time, and you'd slowly deepen and settle in, and kind of as you were doing it, it was this like feedback loop of exploring that edge, right? So I'm very accustomed to that. But holy shit, my limits are just I am inflexible. I've never had a great sense of balance. I felt weak on balance. Balance might be my anti superpower. My family teases me because something I really struggle to do is carry a full cup of coffee, for instance, right? And maybe that's hand-eye coordination and not balance. I don't fucking know, but the point is, I can't do it. And I remember I asked my sister, who was a bartender for forever, and I asked her about give me some tips on I feel like a child or something. I feel absolutely incapable of if I'm carrying a mug and it is 3/4 full, I'm aware that I usually spill these. It's not because I'm absent-minded, but no amount of focus or effort will stop me from regularly spilling stuff that any other adult would carry without ever a hint of a drop of spillage, So I asked her, what do you do? And she's like, oh, just don't look at it. Look somewhere else, pick a place to focus and walk there, and, that sort of thing. And no, that doesn't work for me. This is my anti-superpower. I can't carry a cup of coffee without spilling. My sense of balance has never been great, and I want to work on that. So that was humbling experience number 3. And overall, I'm very aware of in the past how I would have been really frustrated by circumstance. Part of that is because I was really goal-oriented in the past with respect to fitness. I had races I wanted to do, things I wanted to achieve. And that's less of a thing now. So I'm sure that's a factor. But overall, I find I'm just in this place that's a little bit different, where I feel content and resolute, and I'm not frustrated. I don't know. I haven't had any feelings of kind of woe is me or anger or anything with respect to this Achilles injury. I just recognize that this, I'd prefer that this wasn't happening. It sucks. But it is happening, and I'm going to pivot and honor that, goal, that commitment I made to show up for myself and to do so through fitness by pivoting to something else. And in this case, it's yoga. And frankly, the yoga experience has been so humbling, and maybe this is what I needed. Maybe this was this feels very enlightening, and not in a cosmic sense or anything, but just rather this brought my attention to the fact that I got a lot to work on here in terms of just overall wellness, flexibility, strength, etc. So yeah, I feel really, really kind of good about that. And it also made me think, as I was finishing my yoga session, the particular one I followed along, yoga's often bookended with, setting an intention and expressing gratitude and those sorts of things. And that really wasn't the case in this particular one that I picked a random video off YouTube, and that really wasn't a big thing in it. But it reminded me of that sort of experience in the past when I've done yoga. And it just felt right that something I've been missing that I want to explore more is a bit of a practice around gratitude. I want to get better at expressing gratitude on a regular basis. I've had a lot of false starts with this. I've tried expressing gratitude in a journal. I've tried just sort of picking a time in the morning when I wake up or whatever, or when I'm going to bed, that sort of thing. I've had kind of moderate success there. But broadly, I've had a lot of trouble being consistent. It's something that I'll do for like literally a couple of days, and then it wanes. The only exception is quite some time ago now. I remember making I just made like sort of a soft commitment to myself that I was going to like take opportunities to remind myself how thankful I was for my wife Martina, and I actually am pretty consistent about that. Like I would say most nights, Martina's in bed before me, and when I head to bed, I often think about our day or something about her personality and how we interacted that day, or just often more general than that, not necessarily constrained to that day. I think about how much better my life is for sharing that, whatever it is, with her, and usually give her a little kiss and think about how she makes my life better. And I want to expand that to be more like general, I am extraordinarily lucky and thankful for the loving support I receive from the best partner on the face of this earth. But I also want to express gratitude more generally. And I want to do so and just sort of kind of see what happens, So on that note, I am starting a thing, which for the second time now, because I did this the first time I tried to shoot this video when the camera wasn't on. I left this too far away, but I took a bunch of gratitude prompts, I cut them out, and I put them in this little fishbowl. And the reason why I did that is because part of the reason I stumble over gratitude is I feel like really at odds with just sort of like, well, think of something you're grateful for. It's really easy for that to be sort of rote, and it's the same three things always. So I find that the idea of like prompting, really helps me to explore that in a more kind of fulsome way. Think about things I wouldn't otherwise think about. Like I'm really good about acknowledging gratitude with my wife. I do that. I never do it for anything else. Maybe not never. That's not fair, but not intentionally. Not right. So, anyways, I am going to start a gratitude practice every day, where I'm going to try and just work through this. These are kind of random. I printed them off some website. I intentionally want things that are going to challenge me, but I don't know if some of them might just not be a great fit or whatever, or just be zany and stupid. I have no expectations around it. So I'm going to work through here, and I'm just going to post a YouTube short every day where I pluck one of these out and express gratitude for based on the prompt there. And I'm going to do this, and I think I'll do that until this jar's empty. I'm going to work through all the things in this jar. I'm going to try it, I'm going to do this every day until this jar is empty, starting today. So I guess you'll see me in a little bit here on a short expressing gratitude for something. And now I can't end videos with see you on Tuesday, because I'll see you a little bit more regularly than that. But we'll talk soon.